Good evening and many thanks for joining us on Joy ASONYE Live, and we have to apologize for coming a bit late there. Some technical issues had to be settled, but here we are, and today on the program we are moving the conversation to discuss the new administration, youth inclusion in governance. Now, in spite of the advocacies by pressure groups and youth advocates across the country ahead of the party primaries and general elections, people did not think youth fared very well in the in clinching tickets of political parties and the general elections. There's another opportunity for young people, which is the new administration and the composition of the cabinet. How are the youth going to do? Are they positioned to be in governance? That's what we'll be discussing. And I have with me two gentlemen. I have Barrister Maurice Ebams, youth advocate and policy expert. Thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you so much for having me. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, viewers.
It's been a while, Barrister. It's been a while. You look a bit different, a little more mature.
You know, when you're in the system, you tend to mature quicker than your age.
You have to leave that system then. But we also have Ebina, Rademene, Sixtus. He's a political analyst and a young man. So good to have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations. You just share the NYSC award that you have.
Yeah, the award actually came as a shocker because it came at a time we never expected it. But I want to sincerely thank the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for seeing 52 of us fit and worthy to clinch that award. It was not actually an easy one, but we were selected as awardees.
Right, for some people, for bases, I'm sure we read about the 52 people that the president had deemed worthy within the NYSC to award them. Did you get your presidential handshake?
I actually did, yes.
Yes. Apart from that handshake, what else came with it?
The president gave us automatic employment.
Yes, I read
scholarship to do masters to PhD. That was the offers given to us by the president.
Congratulations. Was there monetary? Don't tell us. Don't tell us. I mean, I don't want to make you susceptible for kidnap. So don't tell us. But congratulations again. It's good to have the national recognition.
Yeah.
Having said that, let me go to Barrister Ebams, youth advocate. Let's talk about the advocacy. We were hammering on it over and over ahead of the primaries. I mean, we had talked about the many challenges young people face, but here is another opportunity for young people. Would you say that the young people have positioned themselves enough to be in governance, to be included in governance?
My sister and friend and to Nigerians listening out there, you know, something that it's easier said than done. You know, being in the field, you understand that it's not how you look at it outside. It's when you get inside that you understand how hot is it. But like my father used to say, that when the kitchen is hot, you don't step out of it, but you need to take off your clothes. You should understand that our future has begun already as young people, as youths. You're understanding that. Imagine you should add 4 years to your age now, or 8 years to your age, and you understand that in the next 8 years, you calculate your age. So you should understand that we need to start getting involved actively in leadership and politics. Some people feel that after elections, politics has ended. But this is what I define campaign after elections. This is when you need to start going back to the people. As young people, because the elections are over, you don't mean that we should just go back and throw our towels and feel that there's nothing to be done. This is when we need to start working ourselves. Because at the end of the day, they say many are called, few are chosen, and few are selected. It's about nation building. It's about our nation. It's about, congratulations to my brother, seeing you put on the green, white, green. It give us pride. Youths need to be seeing more role models like you, but we're not seeing enough. We don't have enough role models. I was talking to somebody some time ago. I say even people that are 17 years old now, they don't have role models now. Everybody wants to go into internal fraud. Nobody wants to work legitimately for that money, or nobody wants to get involved for positivity right now. But when we see young men like this, they're having this, it gives an inspiration. Should that despite the challenges, they see hope for our generation. So thank you very, very much.
Okay, as Rademene, I would like you to just, there is basis. You were exceptional in your, while you were serving as a core member, but let's talk politics now. Do you think we have set the pace, we have positioned better so that when you are looking for competent hands and energetic hands, you will look towards the Nigerian youth?
Thank you very much. I still remember my humble self, Ebina, Rademene, Sixtus. Thank you for that question. But all I would just want to say is that with the Nigerian youth, we have a lot to do in terms of personal development. You know, we are always crying to be part of governance. But the main question is that have we developed ourselves enough to actively participate in politics? You know, we have to be active. We cannot just sit on the fence and expect power to come to us. Power is never given. No one can just give us power, a platter of gold. We have to work for it, and we have to actively participate in this politics that we want to get into. And I want to say that so many youths in Nigeria today have actually worked so hard for their voices to be heard. As my brother and my friend has earlier said, the youths of Nigeria today want fast money. I remember when I was serving as a core member, so many of our youths that served with me, they always say NYC na scam. NYC na scam. Some of us, when they post and some of our fellow youths to their places of primary assignment, they will want to leave that place and go to a more convenient place. And in that very community you are being sent to, there are so many problems to be solved. The people are suffering, and it takes creativity for the young ones to actually liberate the people, liberate suffering humanity. That's why I said that we, the youth, we actually need to develop ourselves. Self-development is the key, because if we don't develop ourselves, if we don't equip ourselves with the right knowledge, even when we get this power, we'll misbehave. That is why you see some of our young ones, when they get into that position of authority, they don't know what to do. So the youths of Nigeria have to actually come down, develop themselves. They need to learn this politics. We need to learn the politics. We need to learn how this game of politics is being played. I think once we get the knowledge, once we get tutored by those that have already served, by the special grace of God, the sky will not just be our limit, but it is going to be our starting point. Thank you very much.
Thank you then, gentlemen, for setting precedents to this conversation. We'll go for a very short break and return to discuss more. This is still Joy Asony Live. Welcome back from that short break. I have with me Ebams, Barrister Ebams, Maurice Ebams. He's a political analyst, a youth advocate, and a policy expert. Well, Maurice, I'll come back to you on that political aspect of your name. I also have with me here Ebina Rademene Sixtus is a political analyst and a young man who recently just got a handshake from the president. But we were talking about mentorship now. He has been exceptional, and that is why he was recognized. How many youths can get there? Maurice, let's do an appraisal of the just concluded general elections and the activities of young people. I mean, we saw that political awareness, some of which we had discussed on several platforms, talking about how charged up they were. But would you say, if you go into the real issues, would you say that they actually interrogated those action plans, those blueprints, and not go by the sway of social media and the campaign of calumny, like it's often said?
Okay, my sister, I believe that before a child begins to walk, he must first crawl and have subtle steps. I can tell you our political conscious awareness of 2023 cannot be compared to the one in 1999. So we are getting there. Let's give it to Nigerians. We are getting there. Though we have not seen, you understand, we still see the loopholes and the challenges there, but at least let's give it kudos, despite every other thing. But the truth about it is that when the youth are trying to come out to do this thing, there are persons that are you know, one of our biggest problems in Nigeria is ageism in politics. because in Nigeria or in Africa, and I'm an African man, so I believe in respect so much. But in Nigeria and Africa, they feel that because someone's young, you cannot speak or you have no ideas, you must be old first. But you realize that yes, we the young ones, we also have something to give back. It's just that those young ones, like the Rademene, Sixtus, Ebina of Nigeria, we're not seeing them enough. We're not being given enough opportunity. So that's why I want to say thank you so much for having us on your show. It's a great platform, and we are glad to be here to inspire Nigerian youth, to talk to Nigerians out there, because at the end of the day, a journey of 1,000 begins with a step. They say until truth is repeated, it becomes a priority. So we need to continue speaking. Even after the election, we need to still go back to the drawing board. Politics is local. We need to start talking to the youth. We have seen that we can do this. We have demystified those cliches or those facades that we thought could not be broken. We can still do it. We are young, we have the fire, and we are determined. So we shouldn't go, and we need to start holding them accountable.
Right.
You understand? We need to start holding them accountable. 2027 is coming. Let's not just. The problem in Nigeria is that we always plan for the next 4 years. We don't plan long term. We have no vision. I'm heart bleeds. My heart bleeds, my sister. So we need to start thinking futuristic now. Our plan, our future.
So Rademene, does your heart bleed as well? He has just said his heart bleeds, but you work with the youth as well. You interface and engage with them regularly. When you see where their minds are at the moment, does it bleed your heart?
I think when it comes to national development, it has to be holistic. It's our responsibility. You know, what I just want to say is that most times we see national development as a responsibility of the politicians. So I wouldn't want to see it in that perspective. I think elections, as we speak, elections has been won and lost. What we should do as young people is to see how we can assist those that are in position of authorities to develop and to grow a nation. You know, before the elections, so many of us have been advocating because we have been to our communities, we have seen a lot of abnormalities. We have seen the road issues and the poor, we have seen the poor road network, we have seen the poor quality of water consumed by our people, we have seen the poor electricity. I think moving forward, those that have been given responsibilities, let us come together and work together for the development of our nation. Yes, my heart bleed as well. And the area where my heart bleed is the area where the youths are no more serious with the nation. Our youth no longer believe in Nigeria. Our youth no longer say good things about our nation. I know there might be a lot of abnormalities. There might be a lot of failure in the area of our leaders and our representatives. But I think if we can come together as youth, as young people, and bring initiative, ideas that will help those that are in position of authorities develop our land, I think we'll have a better Nigeria that all of us will definitely be proud of.
Ebams, would you agree that the Nigerian youth can actually advise this composition of political actors that we have? And while answering that, do we even know how to hold government accountable? Because it has become a norm. I notice with sadness that when you approach a candidate, I saw the young people demanding money, demanding inducement, that some of those things we talked about, we are trying to discourage. However, after demanding inducement, after demanding whatever it is, consultation later or whatever it is, do you still have the moral standing to demand accountability?
That is why programs like yours are very, very important, because these are platforms which we need to continue advocating. Like I said earlier, until truth is repeated, it becomes a priority. So we must continue repeating the truth out there. Elections are over now. Let's not just go sit down and cross our hands. And we notice that I don't call them leaders, I call them politicians, because there's a difference between a leader and a politician. For me, I'm not involved in politics because of politics. I'm involved in politics because of nation building. I see myself as a nation builder. So you should understand that as young people, we need to understand that Nigeria on our own, God forbid, say Nigeria goes spoil for our hand. God forbid. You know, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why we lose hope. But I can say a youth like this should be an encouragement to other youths. Like despite how messed up things are, we can still dream. We can still, because this is our own country. I always make a joke that if I don't go to heaven after Maurice or Ebams is green, white, green, I can't run away that I'm a Nigerian. You understand? I'm proud being a Nigerian.
Could that be the reason you have not jackpot?
Well, my sister, if all of us jackpot in this country, we cannot be jackpot. So it's a call to service. You know, it's a noble call. It's heartbreaking. You understand? Yeah, most time we see those things and but you understand that they say many are called, few are chosen, and few are selected. This is a call to service. So it's like I'm from the Christian faith, and we believe so much in the Bible that they say many are called, few are chosen, and few are selected. Apart from that, they say the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. So that's why we youth like us have dedicated ourselves for nation building, to say that despite every other thing, we need to still continue, because we have to pass it down to the younger generation. But what are we going to pass it up to? So my sister, despite every other thing, lack of patriotism is our biggest problem. I believe if you love Nigeria, you will not want to loot and plunder the country.
Right. So
Nigeria is supposed to be the giant of Africa, the most populated black nation in the world. Nigeria is not a mistake. But we don't know our own value. That's the certain about. We don't know what it means to be Nigerian. We don't know what it means to have our own country. People, you know, they say in every country you go, you must say Nigerian. Despite every other thing, and countries changing their course of growth is something that we have all seen before. We saw China grow. You understand? We saw these countries, so we can do it. But we just need the right mentality and mindset, not just from the leaders, but the followers. The elections, my heart bleeded during the elections. I saw my generation youth making mouth or swearing that this election go snatch ballot, they go collect what we do our body. Come on. During the election, these older people just come and use our heads, and they try to manipulate us, and we fall. So you say there are no jobs, but when you continue being used as tools, so what do you expect? These people using you, their kids are not doing those things. Exactly. Their kids are not. They are not using that. They send their kids outside the country to school in the best schools, but we are the ones here suffering this thing. So my sister, you should understand that they say our mumus don't do. And mumus don't do, we still don't get sense by now. Okay, our mumus supposed don't do to an extent where we start loving the country and doing what is best for it. But Rademene, despite all we did in terms of advocacy, pressure groups were constantly, there were jingles, there were billboards. What do you say, looking back, we could have done better, just so that we get young people loving the nation, giving their bit for nation building?
Well, first of all, let's keep advocating. That is what I would say. Let's keep advocating. And also, let us not only advocate, but let us start doing something. Let me take this for an example. I am from a community. I'm from Abi local government area of Cross River State. Really? Precisely, yes. Precisely, I'm from Usumuton. You know, I always have this push. Whenever I go to a place that don't have potable water, I'm always push to do something to make water available. And I think that was what I did while I was in Kwara State that earned me the award today. You understand? So let us not only advocate, because I've been advocating for water for my community for a very long time. At a point, I got tired because nobody was forthcoming. I got tired. I said, with the little resources I have, why not I just start doing something? I have to go to my community. I started looking for boreholes that are not functional. I started looking for those boreholes that have already been drilled, and where nothing was done about it. So at a point, I got a breakdown of all the boreholes I had in my community, and I now said, well, let me take the pictures. Let me take let me take this, let me take the inventory of everything and push it to a platform where we have prominent Baomono elites. So that was what I did, and at the end, we were able to get some amount of money from one of our elder brother at the diaspora. He actually saw the kind of water people are consuming, and he was touched. He sent money down, and we were able to rehabilitate about 2 or 3 boreholes like that.
Right.
So yeah, so we should move from the advocacy and be active.
Right.
Let us start doing something, no matter how little. You might not know the little you would do might bring a bigger result. So let the youth of Nigeria, we should not only advocate, we should not only complain. Let us come down. Before I
go to Ebams, I would like you to also share that how did it happen in Kwara State, where you also provided water for the community? Did you also advocate, or rather source for funds from elite within the community?
Yes, it's within the NYSC. It's within the NYSC rules and regulation that a core member must not use his personal resources to erect any project. So because of that rules, we were forced to source for funds from the community.
Okay.
So I only saw a need in the community. The borehole I constructed, the borehole was drilled opposite a mosque. So what I saw was that the Muslim in that very Bashita community, yes, I discovered that when they are praying, they use water to do their prayers. And as I am a health graduate, I graduated from human kinetics and health education, so I have the background knowledge about health and the implication of consuming contaminated water. So I saw the kind of water they are using to pray. Once you put that water in your mouth, there is no how
germs,
droplet of that water will not get into your system. So I discovered that these people are not supposed to pray with this kind of water. So I saw it as a burden on myself. So I started writing. I wrote the first letter to NYSC telling them that this is the project, the personal CDS I want to embark on. So the project was being approved by the NYSC. So I started sourcing for funds from the community. I really want to appreciate the NYSC, because the NYSC scheme itself is doing a lot of community development, infrastructural development. So I have to start sourcing for funds from that community, although they never trusted me because they felt...
You were a stranger?
Yes, I'm a stranger, and they felt giving a young man money that would be up to 500,000, he would jump out with the money. So the community they were scared. But at a point, it was when I got money from the local government chairman, and I told the community that the local government chairman gave me money. This is the amount of money he gave to me. They now called the local government chairman, and he mentioned the exact amount of money he gave to me. So the community now said, it's like this young man can be trusted. So that was when they started donating for that project. Yeah, and one good thing about that project was that before I got that project done, I have already drilled 2 boreholes that we never had water there.
Wow.
The first one, we drilled the first one locally. We used this local driller that came, the money, water didn't come out. The second one, we still pay money. The second driller came. He tried to manipulate the iron that they were using to do that stuff. It sank inside. So it was like a village problem.
Wow.
So it was when I just have 4 weeks to end my service here that the community have to break the bank and brought money. I have to go and look for a standard machine that drill the borehole. And I'm still happy because I remember the very first day we had water in that community, there was great joy.
I can imagine.
There was great joy because it's something they have never seen in that particular area. You see, so NYSC scheme is a scheme that Nigeria should appreciate because it helps in community development.
Let's talk NYSC. NYSC just turned 50 some days ago. Ebams, what did you do as your CDS project?
Okay,
not to cast aspersion, but what did you do, Ebams?
You know, I've been very passionate about. I served in Sokoto. I'm from Cross River State. I served in Sokoto, did my law school in Kano. But when in Sokoto, I know that, okay, I come from an educational background. My parents are lecturers and English lecturers. So I'm also very passionate about rights of women inclusion in politics. So I volunteered to teach English for free in a girls' school. Because and I also did the program alongside human rights. During the International Human Rights Day, we did the program, and the theme of the program was if a pen is mightier than the sword, it takes away ignorance. And I empowered over 1,000 girl child in secondary school. For me, it was more of this is what I was passionate about, because at the end of the day, I realized that we feel that women should just, I don't know, you understand? We feel that it should just be about the whole, but they need to be inspired. You understand? They need to see. I brought resource persons, lawyers that were actually the women that could inspire these girls, these secondary school girls, and they were very, very happy. So for me, I believe that as a youth, I don't need to go far. I just use your passion. Anything you're passionate about, give. For me, I believe is a noble cause. You understand? For me, it's a noble cause. Anything you're passionate about doing, just continue doing
exactly.
it. So that's
I was just being mischievous when I asked that, but I'm happy.
You also contributed.
I'm happy you had a response to that. I will go verify that, Ebams. But let's talk about how the NYC.
Yes. She always just. I'm very passionate about the rights of women. It's why the girl child. Yes.
That's true. That's true. I must admit that. Ebams, but let's talk about how the NYSC can be a platform where young people learn more leadership skills moving forward. Okay,
I'm very, very happy about this question. I'm from the south, and when I was posted to Sokoto, they say you know go on redeploy Wamako camp. I remember I just came out from law school. We went straight to Wamako camp. It was not easy. You understand? But I enjoyed it. I was excited because growing up as a kid, I used to hear this parable, waiting really for Sokoto Day or Shokoto. So it was Sokoto. And when I went there, I fell in love with it. In fact, I've always loved the North. And because, you know, when that's thing you're not used to. And I come from a part of Nigeria when people will say, when you talk about the North, they say, no, go there, they go kill you. So for me, Sokoto, it was the caliphate, the seat of the caliphate. It was an opportunity, and it's so exciting that I talk with myself in Sokoto, and I know when I mention Usman's Faro Secretariat, I mention places that are always very, very happy, especially if you're from the North. So I believe that NYC is a platform to promote one Nigeria. Yes, because I talk with God forbid say Nigeria goes for our own hand. You know, God forbid say if I want to travel to Sokoto or the North, I'll use visa. I believe in one Nigeria. I'm serious. I believe. I talk with people that say that Nigeria will divide. I look at them like they don't even know the value of what they have. You understand? They don't know the value of what they have. Some time ago, I took a friend who's from Kano, and I took him to Cross River State. It was the first time I've been to Cross River State, and at first he was like, when he went there, his eyes open like, whoa. So I think we need to have this interchange of ideas and cultures and befriend them. I remember a friend of mine was getting married in Kano, and I went there. I dressed like a Cross River, and I tied my wrapper, I did my pom pom, and we were very excited. You understand? You see this. It's very, very nice because as young people, we are the ones that have to have this mentality. Exactly. We need to start challenging the status quo because our politicians during the election, they use tribe to divide us, they use ethnicity to divide us, religion to divide us. But in real life, it's not so. It's not so.
Okay, I would like to ask you the same questions. How can the NYSC do better in instilling those leadership qualities necessary for the many stupendous numbers of young people that pass through that call?
Well, I see the NYSC scheme as the only scheme that I've seen in Nigeria that is still 100% functional. The NYSC has maintained its goals and objectives. They have been doing so well. The scheme is so organized, and I want to thank the government for actually working hand in hand with NYSC to help actualize its goals and objectives. And I want to say that moving forward, NYSC should continue with what they are doing. NYSC is doing so well. You know, there are a lot of things that I've come to learn during my service here. I have never been to any part of should I say Central before. I have never been to any part of northern Nigeria before. In fact, it was the NYSC experience that took me to Kwara State, because I've never been to Kwara State before. And I was able to learn their language. I was able to understand their culture, you know, and NYSC has also provide that opportunity for us to mingle. If I say mingle, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you see a Cross-Riverian falling in love with a young girl from Kano, Katsina.
Did you fall in love in Kwara?
Now, before I make this very point,
okay.
I know what the NYSC.
But you do know I will get back to that point.
That will be later off camera, because my fiancé might be watching the show. I wouldn't want a situation where someone would tell me I will not marry you again.
I can understand, and you are right to put us on that.
So the unity that NYSC has provided, unity in diversity, you know, is something that is welcoming, and they are doing it perfectly. The scheme is doing it perfectly. Okay, just imagine someone that served after I completed my service here, I think around 2020. This is 2023. I don't know anybody in Abuja. I don't know anybody at the national level. I don't know anybody. But NYSC, and before you get any award in NYSC, your project will be thoroughly scrutinized. Whether you have connection, whether you don't have connection, if you deserve that award, NYSC will give you that presidential award. That is why I said it is one of the schemes that is not yet corrupted. I will say it with all amount of confidence, because my dad is a retired custom officer. I don't have anybody in politics.
Or in high place.
Or
in the powers that be.
But the president honored me. Do you know how many youths, how many core members are motivated with the award?
Exactly.
So
just seeing that the president,
I know how many calls
is recognizing these people.
And we have been receiving calls. I want to be like you. I want to do what you have done. And I will always tell them, don't always do a project to get an award, because if you want to embark on any serious project with the intention of getting a presidential award, once you are faced with challenges, you will say, after all, no be award. Without the award, I forget. So you just do it because you want to serve suffering humanity.
Exactly.
And that is the opportunity NYSC has provided. NYSC has given us the opportunity to showcase the hidden potentials that we have. Even the leadership qualities. Some of us, yes, some of us contested to become CDS president. You know, all those processes are another way of building us as leaders. So I see the NYSC scheme as a scheme that should be sustained. I felt sad when I hear people saying the NYSC scheme should be scrapped. Just imagine if NYSC is scrapped, all these projects that core members are embarking in rural communities, those communities will never get those projects.
Not to mention the very important one you talked about.
Yeah.
You get to meet with people and maybe even marry them.
Yes.
But let's go back to Ebams. Barrister Ebams, if you have to advise the president on the over 40% unemployed Nigerian youth at the moment, to advise the president on how he can get this number productive, what would it be?
Okay, I would, if I have the privilege to advise the incoming president and the president-elect, I would not want to sound political, but I want to say it's been believed that he's a builder of men. And I want to say, you should look at his son. He has a son that is a youth. Sheyi Tinubu is a youth. Not all of us are privileged to be Sheyi Tinubu. There are so many millions of Nigerian youths. They have potentials there, but they just want an opportunity. They want a conducive environment. Nigerians are not lazy. Nigerian youths are not lazy. Give it to us. Nigerians are not lazy.
I'm not sure why you're emphasizing and really looking at me. I remember when that phrase came out, lazy Nigerian youth.
No, but Nigerian youths are not lazy. We have those that strive. You understand? I was going through census in Congo. They are 1.5 million, and like
that's
Zambia,
like Nigeria state.
So they don't have competition, but in Nigeria we have so much competition because of our numbers. You understand? Because see, in Nigeria, if you don't do, if you are sleeping on imagine that there are like 1,000 other Sixtuses out there. So you understand, there are a lot of opportunity, and Nigeria is the country that prepares you. Nigeria is not for the faint-hearted. That's why every young man wants to jackpot and leave this country. It's not easy. My side, it's not easy. There are 8 million, and there are so many youths. There are no job. You understand? Okay, okay, let's keep the fact that there are no job, that we can think outside the box and create this, but we can't do it all. You know, youths ourselves, we have no good role models. That they're talking about the future of Nigeria, but they don't include the youth. And any youth they want to include are youths that maybe are loyal to them somewhere or other, not because of what you can offer or what you can bring to the table. Because at the end of the day, unless youth, let's not forget that we talk about youth. Do you know the system has been bastardized, that even from the SUG in the university is corrupt.
Very corrupt.
So when we're talking about youth, let's start calling. We must have look at this older men. We the youth, they are corrupt. I'm saying it. Yes. I'm a big believer that the NYC should not be scrapped out. But in the same NYC, see youths are being posted to places they redeploy themselves. You understand? Because you have long leg. It's from NYC. I started getting long leg. You get long leg. You understand?
Right.
That's part of the corruption we're talking about. You need person. If you get money, they go this way. So end of the day, these are things that are there in our eyes. We see this in every day. I was telling someone that, do you know that one of the 2 most corrupt places in Nigeria is the judiciary, where they go file affidavit or documents, and the airports. I'm a lawyer.
So if
I see
there's anybody who will tell us,
because you have to go file this, so you need to show them love, like that. It's crazy, and now we have done it so much that it's the normal thing. If we don't show them love, we go just do it for you. But it's crazy. The system is not working in Nigeria. The system is on. It pains me because I'm a youth. I'm a young person. So if you ask me now to advise my person, what do I want to say now to this when he's a father? That's why at the end of the day I say, look at Sheyi Tinubu, he's your son. I don't know what, because you are a father. I cannot start advising. You know, this is Africa. They say you won't go to advise old man.
I'm sure you can actually advise. I mean, if there's anything we've learned with the innovation of technology is that we have.
Well, you know, these elders can be saying, this one you look so foolish. But it's the truth.
Ebams, I need to. We are running out of time, but I would like you to also respond to that. If you have to advise the new administration, the president-elect, what would it be?
I won't advise him, but I would suggest to him. Because first of all, my brother, my friend said something about redeployment, relocation, and all of that. You know, NYC is a scheme that I need to protect because it's a scheme that has proven to me that Nigeria is still functional.
Not to mention giving you that presidential handshake.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
So I need to protect. You know, sometimes why people get redeployed or get relocated is because of health basis. Maybe you have
the ideal reason.
Yes, ideal reasons. You have this health condition. You can apply for redeployment or relocation, and it will be granted. Sometimes married women that came to the camp heavy, you know, they always grant them that opportunity to go for those relocation stuffs like that. And if back to your question, if I am opportune to sit one-on-one with the president-elect, I would suggest to him that he should allow the local government to be functional.
Right. Are we talking autonomy again? That conversation, we will not end it. The local government autonomy.
The local government are not functional.
It is the president-elect and not your governors?
It's for the state governors because you know most time I understand that. See,
gentlemen, we actually have run out of time, so it will just be
no Nigerian is more Nigerian than me. You understand? Because at the end of it, despite how we are saying the sweet things about Nigeria, trying to protect our image, but we should also speak truth to power. We should call it a spade. Okay,
Barrister Maurice Ebams, youth advocate and policy expert. Thank you so much for being part of the program. I also had Ebina, Rademene, Sixtus, political analyst, and the gentleman amongst us that had the presidential handshake. Thank you so much for being part of the program.
It's a privilege.
This is where we close the curtains on Joy Asonye Live. Do join us tomorrow. We have yet more to discuss. Have a wonderful evening.